Hey everyone. Sorry it's been a while since I've made a video. I have been pretty busy with social engagements and work and recovery and stuff. And also, my recovery physically has been going really well. But emotionally I've kind of hit a wall. So leading up to surgery and then right after surgery, like there's this kind of adrenaline that happens where you're just really super pumped for everything, and then it happens, and then you're dealing with like the immediate recovery of everything. And what I'm finding that maybe people don't talk about so much is after that initial part of recovery kind of ends and you're just, you go back into your normal life. There's kind of a lull almost, so to speak. It's not really, I wouldn't call it depression, and I wouldn't call it loneliness or anything like that. It's just a matter of when you remove the breast tissue and all of that stuff, you are removing something that absorbs and I believe creates a small amount of estrogen. So your body goes through another change with hormones, and um, I am finding that it's taking me a lot more to be able to interact with people and to socialize like I'm trying to force myself to, because emotionally and mentally I'm just kind of tired, if that makes sense, from being up here because of surgery, and then surgery ended. I got through the initial recovery. Now I'm at 5 weeks and I'm just tired. I'm really tired. But I'm trying to push through everything, and I'm trying to be social, and I'm trying to, not isolate myself. So it's been kind of difficult, and um, I'm using humor a lot to try to get through that, because I am the type of person, just because of my background and the things that I've been through, and with my abuse and my PTSD and all of that stuff, I don't like to show weakness. I don't like to show when I am not at my best, um, which is why I haven't made a video in a while, just because I haven't wanted to show that side. But the more I think about it, the more it's like that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to be shown on my channel. I don't want to give you guys just the good stuff. Like, I want to be able to talk through a lot of what I've been dealing with. So it's I'm at a point where I am. This is a new journey for me. Like, I am new to this. I'm still in the grand scheme of things of where I am with hormone therapy and everything. I'm still very much like a teenage boy. I'm still very new in my transition. I've only the end of this month will be 2 years that I came out, and I'm only at a year and a half on testosterone. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I am very new. I'm still a teenager, but I'm almost 32 years old. So it's been really interesting for me to try to navigate that, to being where who I really am is as far as being a male, I'm here, but as being a person and a human, I'm here. So I'm at two different time periods, so to speak, in a way, and it's been interesting and frustrating and difficult sometimes to navigate those two paths, because I'm a grown adult. I have a house. I have my animals. I have a career. I'm going to school. I'm doing all these things. But mentally and emotionally, like, I'm still back here, So it's hard for me to kind of navigate things a lot of times. And to top all of that, to add more to that, um, because of my abuse as a kid, because of everything that I had to go through, um, I learned this in developmental psychology when I took it a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Whenever you have a child who's developing and they suffer any kind of trauma when they're a kid, that delays or impedes their development. So, on top of all of this, I have that going against me as well, and I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I didn't come from the healthiest home. I came from a very toxic environment, and I grew up in a very, very toxic environment with my parents, and I wasn't taught a healthy way of coping with things. I wasn't taught how to be a sustainable person. And then on top of that, the trauma that I endured, that caused my brain to shut off. Like before sixth grade, I can't tell you a lot of things. Like I have some memories of some things that happened. For the most part, a lot of those memories are things that my brothers or my sister, or other family members have had to tell me, and then my brain, it's weird because sometimes I have to question whether or not it's an actual memory for me or if it's something my brain is making up, so I don't know if when I'm remembering like the images and the information and everything, I don't necessarily know if that's accurate or if it's my brain just kind of filling in things. So I have to second guess everything, as far as from my childhood and adolescence, and it's really frustrating and it's scary at some points because there's parts of my brain that I don't necessarily trust, and that's really hard to do, and so I say all that to say that lately the past couple weeks, it's been difficult for me, and I've been putting on a brave face just because I am the type of person I'm always in survival mode. I've been in survival mode since I was a little kid, because of everything that I've had to go through. And sorry, my cat's saying that she wants to scratch up the cat tree during a very emotional time. And I don't talk about it often. I have shared some about my life and what I've been through. I haven't shared how hard it is for me on a daily basis because I missed out on a lot of things. I missed out on how to build healthy relationships. I've missed out on how to build healthy friendships. I've missed out on picking up on social cues, on how to act in certain situations. And I have, for the most part, and I was talking to my pseudo mom who I've adopted because she's amazing. I was talking to her the other day about it, and it didn't hit me, like I didn't realize until then when I was talking to her about it, about everything that I've been going through, that a lot of how I act now is because I've picked up on social cues on how everybody else acts, and not necessarily because of how I was raised and how I was taught. Because if I were to do that, I would be a racist homophobic, and that's not who I want to be. Somebody who is emotional, somebody who isn't open-minded, somebody who's bigoted, somebody who has to be right all the time, somebody who is incredibly ignorant and misinformed. That's the environment that I came from, on top of all the abuse and the violence that I went through, and it wasn't just from my parents. I don't want to name people, but I had a sibling who was physically abusive, so I had to deal with a lot of stuff. That house was a very toxic environment, and if I were to go, like, if I were to live my life the way that they showed me, I would be a very toxic person, but I have chosen through my own personality and my own morals and my own strength, on top of, what I've received from God and the direction that I've gotten from Him. He has helped to mold me into the person that I am today, where I choose to be the opposite of everything that I've had to go through. I saw recently a quote from Robin Williams that talks about, the saddest people in the world are the ones who have felt what it feels like to be completely worthless, and choose to be the opposite of that because they don't ever want somebody to feel that way. And that's how I feel. That's how I live my life. I live my life to be 100% completely opposite. It kills me inside whenever I hurt somebody because I never want to be that person that ever hurt somebody. And, even if it's just the slightest thing, like it eats at me because I never want somebody to feel pain and I be the reason why they feel pain. So I say all that to say that, having this surgery and having this new step in my life and having that next step of freedom, it's exciting and it's amazing and I love it. I would not change it and go back 100%, but at the same time it's kind of scary and new for me to take that next step in my new life, and I just wanted to share that I'm not okay. I'm okay, but then I'm not okay. I'm okay with the surgery, I'm okay with my recovery and all of that, but I have reached this new level of learning about myself where, I've gone through years of therapy. I've gone through getting through the main trauma of everything, dealing with flashbacks, dealing with nightmares, dealing with panic attacks, dealing with triggers and all of that stuff, and dealing with the big heavy stuff, the obvious stuff. And now I've kind of moved into, I'm dealing with, how do I live life? How do I function as an adult? How do I do all these things? Because there's little things. There's things that I do every day, as a homeowner, as a car owner, as a responsible adult, as somebody who has health insurance, like a functioning regular adult. There are a lot of things that, excuse you, sir, please do not mess up my flag. There's those things that I was never taught how to do. I was never shown how to do that. So I'm having to teach myself. I'm having to look at other people and ask them questions, and sometimes I do get weird looks. Like people will look at me like, how do you not know how to do that? And it's just, it makes me embarrassed to ask for help because I feel like at this point in my life, there are things that I should know that I don't know, that I was never taught. And, it's hard. It's hard to navigate life where I have always felt like I have been on my own. Even when I was under my parents' roof, I felt like I was alone. When I was in the Army, I was alone. I've always had friends and I've always had support, and I don't want to ever discount anybody for the thing, being there for me, for picking me up when I was down, for pushing me to be a better man. I have the best support system I could ever ask for, and I don't ever want to discount anybody, but at the end of the day, my day-to-day life and how I function in this world, I've had to learn from that support system. I've had to lean on them tremendously. I've had to lean on people that I shouldn't have to lean on them as much as I have, and that is why whenever I talk about my accomplishments, whenever I talk about the things that I've been through, whenever I talk about all the good things in my life, that's why I am so thankful and so blessed, and that's why I always talk about my support system so much and why I am so thankful for them, because without them, like, I would not be here, and yeah. Like, I made this video. I wasn't entirely sure of what exactly I was gonna say. I know that I needed to get it out for myself, just so people would know where I'm at, like, to know that I'm at a place in my life where I'm learning that it's okay to not be okay, but still function and still live life and still love life, like, I don't love life any less. I'm still happy every day. I'm still happy to be alive. I'm still happy for where I'm at. I'm still thankful for where I'm at. I still know that, I have so much to give to this world, and but at the same time, like, it's okay to also feel the way that I'm feeling, you know, to feel sad that I have had to live my life the way that I've had to live it, you know. But it is what it is, you know. This is the life that I've been given for whatever reason, you know. I don't ever doubt God and the path that has been laid out for me. There is some reason in there somewhere for me to have gone through everything that I've been through, you know. It's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about strength, inner strength. It's taught me a lot about resiliency. It's taught me a lot about holding on to the small things in life and not taking anything for granted, you know. And I look back on my life. I was telling June, my mom, like, she's my adopted mom, but, you know, I was telling her, like, I should probably write a book, you know, because all of the things that I've been through and the journey that I've had in my life, like, I joke about my therapist always saying, like, I don't know how you have made it through everything that you've been through and you're still happy and you're still optimistic and you still wear your heart on your sleeve and you're still so kind. And I don't know how. I don't know how I've been able to make it this far. The only thing I can say, you know, is that when I was at that point of giving up, when I was at that point where I felt like I didn't have anything left to give, God and the people around me gave me that extra strength, that extra push, that extra, I don't know, that extra motivation to just keep going a little bit longer until I saw light at the end of the tunnel, you know. And it always came. The light always came. You know, I've never gone through a situation where eventually it worked itself out. Eventually it got better, you know. And so yeah, I just, again, I ramble. But, you know, I just wanted to, this video, instead of covering a topic, covering, you know, something to do with my transition, you know, I just wanted to share where I'm at right now. You know, because while I am excited about my transition, I'm excited to share with you guys, you know, physically what I'm going through. You know, I also wanted to share mentally and emotionally where I'm going through. And right now it's not the best place to be at, but I know that in these times where I am at a not good place, that's where I know that growth's happening. That's where I know, you know, as I say, quote unquote, I'm leveling up. You know, I'm not just leveling up in my hormones and wanting to eat everything and the up and down stuff. I know, I joke around, but I know in there is maturity. I know in there is intelligence. You know, in there is some type of life lesson that I'm learning. And, you know, I know that I have a long way to go. You know, I know I have a lot more maturing to do. I know I have a lot more to learn about life, you know, and how to navigate things and how to be in situations, you know, and to act accordingly, you know. Because yes, I do want to be myself, but at the same time, like, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to know how to function better in society, you know, because I am behind the power curve on a lot of things, you know, like, mentally I'm not where I'm supposed to be, I think, for a 32-year-old man. Hey guys, hey, let's not do that. My cats are something else tonight. You know, but I will say that I am extremely thankful for the patience that I see in the people around me. You know, they give me the opportunity in the room to grow and to make mistakes and to be immature and to joke around, and, you know, and that means so much to me, you know, because there are times where I just feel like I'm too much. There's times where I feel like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. There are times where I'm like, maybe Maybe I do joke around too much. Maybe because I do. It's a defense mechanism. You know, the more I joke, the more that means there's something going on inside that I don't want to talk about and I want to hide and stuff. You know, which is another reason why I'm making this video, because if I hide and stuff, then I'm gonna end up in a bad place. You know, and I just needed to be honest and upfront about the fact that there is something going on, and that's something that I have to process and go through and digest and mull over and meditate and pray about. You know, but yeah. So that's kind of where I am. But, you know, physically, recovery wise from the transition, you know, like everything is going great. I have a follow up appointment in 4 days with Dr. Happy. Excuse me. Where hopefully I'll be able to start working out upper body. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that. But, thanks for listening. Being there for me. I'm probably gonna cry when I get off of here, just because I know I need to. It's been a while, but thank you for continuing to support me and being there. And I'm sorry this is so long, but I just needed to get it all out. So even if you don't watch the whole video, well, obviously if you're here, you've watched the whole video, but I just needed to vent and get it out there, you know, because it's just, I'm tired. That's what it boils down to. I'm just tired. And I go through periods where it all just hits me at once because I don't process and talk about things as regularly as I should. And then it all boils up, and then I get really, really tired, and then this happens. So I should probably learn to talk more often. But yeah, so I will try to update later after my appointment, just to let everybody know how's it going, how it went, and go from there. Bye.